Aha.
Okay, I think we're almost there.
Yeah, it shows on my end that we're live.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here with you today on this beautiful Sunday. Thank you so much for being with us. Jess and I are doing our very first live. You've seen many videos from us before, and today we're coming to you live. So we wanted to just start today with a card pull. Is there anything you want to say as an introduction, Jess, beyond?
No, I'm just really excited to be here. So, yeah.
Wonderful. So I pulled a card this morning for the videos that we were going to do today. And so I just wanted to share it with everyone. This is, let's see, the Cosmic Egg. And so it really kind of sets the stage for a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. So it's, I hold the universe within me, and I am the force of an ever-expanding love. And who she is, the cosmic egg, is the core symbol of the divine feminine's creative force. And when this card is selected, just the reminder that nothing needs to happen and everything is exactly as it should be, which I think is just such a great reminder, and a reminder of the divine feminine for us, especially on this Mother's Day. So
love that. Love it. Yeah, so that's a perfect lead in to Denise and I were chatting about what would be most helpful to talk about today. And what's been showing up for me is how we can really be in our sovereignty and take our power back by defining for ourselves what certain days mean for us. So for example, like I just had a birthday maybe a week ago, and I was thinking about this on that day, which is, what do I want my birthdays to mean outside of any obligation, outside of any like social, constructs of what that's supposed to look like. And so here we are again on another day where we have this freedom or an opportunity to kind of redefine what this day means for us. And so, for me, what this day has began to mean for me over the last few years is how we can honor the divine feminine in all of us, and it's non-gendered, just outside of any kind of external authority or obligation. What does this day mean for us? So any ideas on that for you, Denise, or anything?
So for me, when I think of Mother's Day, right, it always has this connotation to it of I must be something. I must interact with others in a certain way. And it's becoming more and more for me, because I don't always like the idea of having to show up as mother, right? So what Mother's Day really becomes for me is that conversation that we've been having of the divine feminine is about that being aspect of ourselves. And so how do I be more present? How do I be more authentically myself? And really that's what I am choosing to show up as when I'm talking about Mother's Day now, is how do I be authentically myself in whatever light that is for me? And making it less about having to show up as something specific. There's so much positive and negative connotation, right, around all of these different, I'm going to call them holidays for lack of a better word, but birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, like all of those different things. And stepping into a new way of defining what that looks like feels so much more authentic and real for me lately. How about for you?
Yeah, it feels freeing. So for me, knowing that I have a choice around how I show up and the meaning I put to every day is so freeing for me. So what does it mean for me to be a mother? So I feel like I've mothered in so many different ways. I've been a stepmother. I consider myself kind of a mothering mentor role to my clients. And then also just anyone that's been that figure for me in my life, and male and female have mothered me in my life. So really to like honor that, like all the men in my life that have really nurtured me, I wanted to just kind of say thank you to them as well. you know? So just it's so freeing. It's just so freeing when we give ourselves permission.
Mm. And that's such a good like reminder that there are so many aspects of just humanity that mother us, right? It's not just the mothers, it is mentors, it is men, it is all of these different roles that get played that provide us nurturing and mothering. So I love that.
And unconditional love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, anyone that's watching, if you'd like to, we'd love to know how you're relating to this day and how you're choosing to define it. And also if you want to comment on anything around divine feminine, that's a topic that we would love to continue to discuss in this group.
Yes. And what that feels like for you, right? I mean, we've asked a couple of different times in this group what the feminine feels like for you. And I think, and what keeps showing up for me anyway, and I'll let you comment as well, Jess, is that we're having to redefine it. And to redefine it, you have to look at it regularly, right? Because change doesn't happen, or new thoughts don't just all of a sudden appear one day. You have the thought and then you have to feel into it. And one day it feels a little bit different than it did the next day. And so there's a process that happens, which is why we're constantly coming back to this idea of what is the divine feminine for you? It could change today. It could be different for you tomorrow. And honoring that space and the opportunity for it to be different.
Yeah, and that actually reminds me of that the divine feminine is not always love and light, right? It's also sometimes like boundaries and kind of the not harsh love, but like this is my hard line. Or I guess divine feminine, we tend to kind of go to this place of like it's all love, it's all heart, and it can be, but sometimes like true love or unconditional love looks like boundaries. It looks like saying no. It looks like saying to your body that this doesn't work anymore and this is what you need to do. So just kind of wanted to acknowledge that too, that divine feminine doesn't have to be what we would consider, light and soft. It can also be, the other side of love, which is boundaries.
Yes. Which reminds me, as well as we're having this conversation, and we spoke about this a little bit ago in a separate conversation, just establishing new boundaries with our own bodies, right? So mine comes around food. Food is not, it's showing up differently for me lately. So I'm finding that my diet is changing and learning to nurture myself and love myself in a way that's different. Again, is that divine feminine? How do I show up in that nurturing way for myself, set boundaries for myself? And that happens with food, right? And those boundaries are okay for me anyway, but and recognizing that those boundaries are okay. And it's good to set those sideboards sometimes, and that's so nurturing and mothering.
Absolutely. I love that. And that's where it becomes like not really about gender and about actually giving birth to a baby. Although that definitely needs to be celebrated. But that I really love that you said that, because I feel like this day can be a day to honor something much bigger than just that part of it. That is one part of being a mother, but there's so much more. And I feel like men could be invited to be celebrated this day as well, which could feel a little bit edgy, but that's what this group's about, is finding that edge of discomfort. And men, I would love to hear, like, do you feel like you've mothered in your life, and how does that show up for you? And then how would that look like if you were to be honored on this day? I'm just kind of curious if anybody has any thoughts around that. So
I love that. And one thing that came up for me as you were talking about that is the sense of we didn't always, in everybody's attempt to be the best mother that they can be, we as individuals don't receive the exact mothering that we need to have. And so today can be a celebration of how do I mother myself, men and women, to give myself the nurturing that I wasn't able to have for whatever reason. I mean, it's not that maybe my mother was not a bad person, but I didn't receive what I needed to. And so recognizing that we get to step into this place of, as men and women, mothering ourselves and nurturing ourselves and being there for that younger version of ourselves that needed to hear something a little bit differently.
Absolutely. It's like that comes back to that inner child healing, is how do we be that parent, that divine parent that we didn't have? And nobody had that. I mean, I feel like that's just so funny. It's like, if somebody out there really felt like they had a divine parent, let me know, because I don't think that's part of the life, the normal life experience or human journey is to learn how to be a parent to ourselves and to forgive our actual parents because they didn't do anything wrong. They were wanting the same thing from their parents, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what a great opportunity to really just be able to look at all of that today. And feel into that experience, and recognizing, again, like our card pull that we had today, is you are exactly in the right place and you are doing exactly the right thing. And that includes nurturing yourself and loving yourself. And you're showing up exactly as you need to in this moment.
Oh, I love that. Yes. So, you know, Denise and I also talked about just doing a really quick, like maybe a 2 or 3 minute guiding meditation where we connect you to Mother Earth, because I do think that she is ultimately our source right now. As if we can connect to her, anybody can connect to her. It doesn't matter where you are or what your life circumstances, like this is a way we can connect today. Yeah, is there anything else, Denise, that you'd like to share?
No, not right now. Let's go ahead and connect. And then after this, we've got a quick little announcement. So.
Oh yeah, stay for that. So I'll ground us. So if you're listening, just close your eyes and I'll guide us through a couple of minutes of connecting to Mother Earth. So just find a comfortable seat, close your eyes, and just begin to breathe in through your nose to deepen the breath into the belly. And then just allow the breath to be longer as you exhale through the nose or the mouth. And each exhale drops you more into your body and allows you to soften the edges of your experience. So each exhale softens somewhere. This could be mentally, physically. Feeling gravity and feeling each exhale being held more by the earth. And with your next exhale, just imagine in your mind's eye a grounding cord that connects your body, and it goes 500 feet down into the earth. Each exhale, you imagine your own unique grounding cord going all the way to the core of the earth. And you can begin to get familiar with what your personal grounding cord feels like and looks like. Maybe it's texture, color. Using those exhales to finally meet your grounding cord to the core of the earth. And you can, in your mind's eye, see that grounding cord tying off, securing you now to the center of the earth. And just take another few breath cycles to really feel your body anchored and connected now to Mother Earth. And when you feel connected fully, just begin to use your inhales to bring your attention back up that cord. But with you, you bring all of the codes that are specifically for you gifts and messages from the earth for you today. So with each inhale, you draw your attention back up that grounding cord and bring with you any messages or codes from Mother Earth that are just for you today. And each inhale, you feel those messages and codes come up your grounding cord. And feeling them enter your body and fill your whole body with light, light codes, light messages. With each inhale, you notice all the parts of you that have maybe been hidden or in the darkness, and just allow these codes from Mother Earth to shine some light in those dark places. Bringing these messages all the way up until your awareness reaches your heart space. And you can maybe take a minute to place your hands on your heart and breathe in and out of your heart. And take a moment to just ask your heart what it wants you to know today. And when this feels complete for you, just take a deep inhale through your nose. Just let it fall out your mouth and releasing your hands. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jess. So before we leave you, we just wanted to let you all know that we've got some exciting new things that are going to be happening for Therapy with a Cherry on Top. So Jess and I are going to be creating a Patreon community where we'll be showing up live and in different ways in a more frequent opportunity to interact with us and just be there and be a little more available to all of you. So we'll post that link when it's ready. Did you want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we'll be doing on that, Jess?
Yeah, we can just take a minute and some of the things that you'll be getting are weekly videos like we've been doing. So if you've been following our videos, we're going to be doing more of those. So every Sunday you'll get a video, and then you'll also be getting opportunities to work individually with Denise and I. We plan on doing giveaways for our Patreons. So it'll be $12 a month, but you get a lot with that. So we'll be giving away free readings, like Akashic Records readings, or even personal coaching or therapy sessions with us as our community grows. So we would love for you to be part of the first group of patrons, if you will. And so you'll be getting a lot of free stuff, at least at first. And then, go ahead, Denise. Is there, what else?
So we'll be doing things like having journal prompts available for you. Jess and I will be getting on live and doing different teachings and the different styles that we show up for our clients and for the people that we work with. So you'll be seeing that on a regular basis, and then videos like this on a regular basis on Sundays.
And interviews with our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So once a month we'll be interviewing, kind of like we did with Travis the other week. We'll be interviewing certain patrons that have a story to tell around some of the topics for this group, such as sexuality and oppression. There's lots of things like that we'll be bridging, but we'd love to interact with you in more of that kind of a way. Yeah.
So we're super excited about it. So be looking for that link. We'll share it to this group so you have the opportunity to take a look at that and see if it's something that resonates for you and fits for you. And we would love to have you join us on our Patreon community as well.
Hey, Exciting.
Yes, so we're super excited. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.